the Pacific Southwest Regional Champs in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson, James Crenshaw in the truck, giving you all the different shots and graphics. Camera crew here provided by iFiber as we get set for a game that to me is one of the interesting matchups. You look at the matchups during the course of the day, and the reason I find this interesting because it is basically do or die for Tucson, Arizona. They've lost a couple of games coming into a game they must win. You finish 1-3 in pool play, there's a possibility you get in, but I would say there's not a probability. So if you are this squad from Tucson, Arizona, and you are wanting to solidify your chances of getting into bracket play come Thursday, this is a must-win scenario for you. Meanwhile, for Vancouver, they've played one game. This is their second. They're still in the thick of things. Despite the fact they lost their opening game in pool play, you win the remaining 3, and you are in. So not quite the pressure put on a Vancouver squad as there would be on this Pro Hammer team. And we get baseball underway. The guys decked out in the orange and off-white or more gray is prime time in the dark blue, the very dark blue and white. Tucson, Arizona. Up onto the bump steps Drake Bannerman, and with this pitch to Isaiah Parker, we've got the game in progress. Into the strike zone to Isaiah Parker, the shortstop, leading things off. Let's get the offense set for you for Vancouver. Jasper Rank is the left fielder batting second. Parker Reeves playing behind the plate will hit third. Dylan Hamilton is the second baseman in the 4th spot. Jacob Hammond playing first will bat 5th. Andre Shear is the center fielder in the 6th spot. Cole Shurier is the EP, and he will bat 7th. Alex Brady pitching and batting 8th. Right fielder Hunter Reeves is hitting in the 9th spot, and Derek Metler will play 3rd and bat 10th for Vancouver. 2-1 pitch lifted towards center field. Back a few to make the catch is DeMarco Vasquez, and there's one away. One gone for Jasper Rank. Tucson, Arizona's got Drake Bannerman on the hill. Behind the plate, Keegan Graff. The first baseman is Danny, make that John Dormanen. You've got Brandon Ortiz playing second. Nano Vasquez is the shortstop. And at third, Adrian Madero. Softly hit to short and right on cue. Nano Vasquez making the great catch to end the at-bat for Jasper Rank. You tell the guys on the infield to get the shortstop Nano Vasquez, and he puts on a little show for you. Nice diving catch for out number 2. Well, that might be a good spot to bring up the right side of your scoreboard where it says hashtag Babe Ruth WS. If you like us on Facebook and you follow us on Twitter, then you see all the videos that we posted. If you haven't, put that in the search engine and find the big plays. Got a feeling that could be one of the big plays you will see later. The catch there by Vasquez. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. And then when you find it, like it, send it along. Retweet it, share it. Out of the strike zone to Parker Reeves. Then Pro Hammer outfield and left field Sean Fanning. Center field DeMarco Vasquez. And in right field Jesse Carmona. Last minute change in the outfield. Riggs McGuire was slated to start in the outfield, but he was pulled and Jesse Carmona inserted late. So there you have it, the offense for Vancouver, the defense for Tucson. Dylan Hamilton to the on-deck circle, the windup and delivery from Bannerman. Again to Vasquez. Gobbles it up. A little bit tall with the toss over to first, but to get the tag on the runner, Dormanen will have to reach off the bag and do just that. Lay the tag on the runner incoming. 3 up, 3 down in the top part of the first. We are officially into game number 10 of pool play. We head to the bottom of the first. Tucson coming to bat on JockJive.com.
On the train test range, you learn what makes our heating and cooling systems so reliable. If there's a breaking point, we'll find it. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Yeah. Bottom of the first, top of the order. It's a scoreless contest. Top part of the inning, Parker, Rank, and Reeves all go down. A fly out by Parker and line out by Rank. Reeves grounding into the 6-3, and we're about 4 minutes into the game and already in the bottom of the first. Of course, I'm not putting a lot of stock in a 4-minute top part of the first. Kind of feeling things will slow down a little bit as we get deeper into the contest. DeMarco Vasquez leading things off, the center fielder for Tucson, Arizona. Shortstop Nano Vasquez batting in the 2 spot. Catcher Keegan Graff is the 3-hitter. Adrian Madero, the 3rd baseman, batting 4th. EP Danny Perez. I tried to put him in first. He plays there often, but he will play the extra player position and hit 5th. John Tormanen is the 1st baseman, batting 6th. Sean Fanning playing left will hit 7th. Brandon Ortiz is the 2nd baseman in the 8 spot. Greg Bannerman pitching, batting 9th. And playing right field is Jesse Carmona. He will hit 10th. Meanwhile, all of those gentlemen, 1 through 10, will be facing Alex Brady on the hill for Vancouver. His opening pitch outside of the strike zone to Vasquez. Parker Reeves behind the plate. Jacob Hammond is at first. Dylan Hamilton at second. Shortstop belongs to Isaiah Parker. At third, Derek Mettler. Count evens up at 1. In the outfield, Jasper Rankin left. Andre Shear in center field. Hunter Reeves is in right. Bottom of the first, count even, 1 apiece. Welcome aboard wherever you may be watching from and whatever medium you may be watching on JockJive.com, on Inflated World Series 2017.com, or how about on the Babe Ruth Facebook page where the previous game had 11,000 views. Or you might be watching here in the Ephrata, Washington area. iFiber providing the medium to Northland Cable for you to be watching the game, or at least have the ability to do so here in the Ephrata, Washington area. Count even at 2 apiece on Vasquez. Fly ball towards left field. And reaching up to make the catch is Jasper Rank. A little interesting in that typically your backup, center fielder Andre Shear going over. Well, your backup guy's normally behind you. I think in this case he was in front of. I think he was thinking about making the catch versus being the backup. Vasquez with a fly out to left field for out number 1. Nano Vasquez to the plate. High and away with the pitch, ball 1. Keegan Graff to the on-deck circle. Well, for those of you who have watched now for 3 days of baseball, got to get you updated on what the weather is like. It does appear to be getting a tad more hazy as the day goes on. Haze and smoke has been an issue, and as a matter of fact, there is an alert here in the Northwest for those who might have lung conditions as a result of the smoke and haze. In right field, and I don't know if the smoke or haze had anything to do with it, but Hunter Reeves never picked up the ball. It drops in, and Vasquez will wind up at second. But you could tell by the body language of Reeves in right field, he didn't know where it was at. And this haze does have a baseball color to it. And I could see the problems that would exist trying to pick up something that goes high into the air and then plummets back to earth. Right there behind the pole is where it drops, and there you see finally the fielder coming in, Hunter Reeves, who never picked it up. And Vasquez will wind up at second. Credited with a double. That's got Keegan Graff an RBI opportunity. Inside pitch on Graff. Adrian Madero moves to the on-deck circle. Count even, one apiece. A necessary win for Pro Hammer. Throw goes into center field. Vasquez looking squarely into the ball that rolls into the mid of Andre Shear, so he will not take off and try to get to third. One ball, no strikes on Graff. Today has already seen a rarity. How about the triple play to end the bottom of the first of the game that preceded the opening game of the day? Vasquez taking off for third. The throw there. Nope, not in time. Stolen base at third for Vasquez. And now 90 feet from home, the first run of the contest for Tucson, Arizona. Runs in the first have been a rarity. There have been very few games in this World Series where runs have played it in the first, and there have been no big first innings. If a team scored, they played it a run. There has been no multiple run first innings. And again, very few scores at all in the first. Dropped into center field in front of Shear, trotting in from third. That will be Vasquez, an RBI Keegan Graff single. And Pro Hammer on the board in the bottom of the first after the Graff shot to center field. Adrian Madero coming to the plate. Danny Perez moves to the on-deck circle. I was talking about the haze, though. It, I think, is a little more so in game number 2 as compared to game 1. Should get up to 98 degrees. It's 97 now. Feels like 97 with the humidity at 14%. South winds at 6. Currently the American flag in center field. That's my barometer for what the wind is doing. And from this vantage point, looks like it might be blowing into the face of the hitter. Got that flag wrapped around the flagpole, but I think it is blowing in despite the optical illusion it might create from my vantage point here. Visibility is 5 miles. UV index is 7 here in Friday. Supposed to get to 101 tomorrow and Wednesday, 102 on Thursday, and hit 100 again on Friday. Over to first, back safely goes Graff. I will say, though, we are, James and I, are from the south, where when it hits 100, it feels like about 110, 115. Here, 100 feels like about 90. Graff looked like he was going to go. Infield was in tight, slips under the mitt of Metler at third, into left field, and Madero drives Graff to second. He's over at first. Couple of base runners on for Danny Perez. In the event you missed scores from yesterday, it was Mid-County, Texas, a 6-1 winner over this Vancouver squad. Cape Cod knocks off Middle Atlantic, the Mount Olive, New Jersey team 5-1. Moses Lake, a 7-4 winner over Tucson. And in last night's game, Ephrata defeating Surrey County, North Carolina by a final of 3-2. Popped up by Perez, out of play. And this morning's first game, the team that had the triple play turned on them, winning by 5. Charleston, Missouri, a 9-4 winner over Mount Olive, New Jersey. So the teams that are currently certainly in the driver's seat, in control of their own destiny because of no losses, are Cape Cod, Mid-County, Texas, and Charleston, Missouri. Those 3 teams of the 10 here are unbeaten. Also, Blue Lick, Kentucky unbeaten at 1-0. Count even, one apiece on Danny Perez. John Dorman on deck. Couple of base runners aboard, Graff and Madero. Your 2-0 teams, Cape Cod and Charleston, Missouri, as well as Mid-County, Texas. Your 1-0 team, Blue Lick. Throw to third, the double steal. Couple of base runners in scoring position. And now Danny Perez, with a 1-2 count, has an opportunity to drive in a pair of runs. Another interesting game during the course of the day has got to be the nightcap, when Ephrata will take on Cape Cod. As this one is popped over in the direction of right field, and a diving catch in foul territory. But again, I believe Reeves had trouble picking up the baseball. Just having problems picking it up off the stick. Let's see if you can tell by the body language on the replay. Just looked like he was having trouble picking it up, and let's see if we can pick him up. Nope, looks like maybe, at least for the better part of the replay, he knew where the ball was, just could not get there. Madero is at second. Graff at third. And Danny Perez back into the box with a 1-2 pitch count. Toss inside, and the count goes even. Moses Lake and Blue Lick coming up. Moses Lake with a 1-1 record in pool play, and Blue Lick we saw in the first game and haven't seen since. They played in that 11 a.m. game on Saturday, had Sunday off, and they'll be back on the diamond at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And by the way, when they step onto the diamond, they will be featuring a catcher who has a special accolade, our 10,000th like on Facebook. Into left field, diving catch made, and out goes Perez. Hopping up rank, he will fire in to try to get Graff, who will come in and score on the sac fly, but nice play there in left field by Rank. Two gone, a 2-zip score. And we may be in our first game. I'll have to go back and look, but if memory serves me correct, which often it does not, but I think we're in our first game that has had multiple runs in a first inning. As Vasquez and Graff have come in and scored. Madero still the base runner in second. John Dorman will step out of the box. I mentioned Facebook. Yep, we're still looking for additional likes. Now, obviously, the goal was 10,000, and we reached that in the previous game, but that was the previous goal. How about 11,000 now? If you haven't liked us on Facebook, please do. Go to Facebook, put Jock Jive Sports in the search engine. And when you like us, we get you updated on scores, schedules, and so much more. Where we're headed next, what happened once we got there. If there are weather delays, I'm thinking that that won't happen here. It has happened at the World Series we are covering down in Alabama. Well, you get that information before most others do. So sure, we like the numbers, the increase in the likes, but it's about getting you information. Swing and a miss, 2-1 on Dorman. And 2, it allows for that social interaction. You share stuff with us. Sean Fanning moves to the on-deck circle. Here is the 2-1 toss as Dorman awaits. Madero, the base runner at second. It is nubbed over towards short. Parker will slide to his knees to make the catch, put an end to the inning, leave a base runner on. But in a game that Tucson, Arizona must win, they've got the early lead. 2-zip as we head to the second. Hamilton, Hammond, and Shear. They're all due up for prime time when we return to Ephrata.
Since 1969, DK's Drive-In has been Ephrata's favorite spot for burgers, fries, sweet treats, and everything else in between. We are proud to continue the DK's tradition of serving our community with delicious food made to order. Come on in or swing through the drive-thru and see why DK's has been a staple of Ephrata for generations. DK's Drive-In at 805 Basin Street Northwest in Ephrata.
Lakeview Golf and Country Club. They're looking for new members, and now's the time to join. There's no initiation fee, and it's $175 a month. A great course, great people, and a professional that has instruction available. His name? Matt Campbell. Along with a good junior program, driving range and restaurant are available to the public. Come and try the good food with Amy Galloway and her staff, open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Great course, great people at the Lakeview Golf.
Top of the second, Dylan Hamilton will start things off for prime time. Pro Hammer plates a couple of runs. Vasquez and Graff coming in score. Vasquez got on with a double. It was the shot into right field that Hunter Reeves couldn't pick up, dropping out of this hazy sky. And then Graff followed with a single that drove in Vasquez. It was a Danny Perez sac fly that brought in Graff. A 2-zip advantage as we head to the second. And speaking of second baseman Hamilton starting things off. Bannerman will start him off with a strike. Jacob Hammond, Andre Shear due up in the inning too. Don't know what the indication was on the sign, as it is Dorman who fields it first. Throws behind Bannerman. Hamilton is on his way to second. The throw, it will pop out on the mitt of Vasquez. And DeMarco Vasquez will retrieve. It will be an error that gets a base runner on. And it was the Dorman throw that was behind his pitcher Bannerman. Bannerman couldn't reach back and make the catch, and that allowed another base for Dylan Hamilton. Before the error, though, I was mentioning that something had to be going on that drew the attention of Bannerman. Had a big smile on his face before the pitch to Hamilton. The gentleman who could cut the lead in half, he is now at second. And it's the E3 that got Hamilton there, as leadoff is aboard for Jacob Hammond. Hammond trying to lay down the bunt that had Dorman and charging in from first. Strike delivered, 0-1. Andre Shear to the on-deck circle. Cole Shourier in the hole awaiting his opportunity briefly. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Into the zone again. Adjacent to the scoreboard out in right center field is a pitch count. So all fans, all coaches, all players have struck out as Hammond. Aware of the pitch count for a player, if you pitch within 45 tosses, you don't have to rest any. I mean, you can play again tomorrow or tonight if it was a doubleheader. You toss less than 75 pitches and you got to rest one day. If you go 76 or more, a couple of days rest is required. One out for Andre Shear. Rolled to Vasquez at short, pumps, fires, gets the out. To third goes Hamilton. And there's two gone for Cole Shourier. Alex Brady moving to the on-deck circle. Bottom of the second, you've got Fanning, Ortiz, and Bannerman all two up. That's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Pro Hammer. By the way, many know because I already see the tags coming in, but we reserve the 3rd and 4th innings for your text shout-outs. So get ready, get those dexterity exercises in progress to be able to send shout-outs in the 3rd and 4th, of course, where you see 16 to 18-year-old World Series and hashtag Babe Ruth WS. You'll see a phone number that will allow you the opportunity to text us. And it is, by the way, if you want to Jot it down quickly. 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Courier. And obviously, some have already placed the number in their phone. And have got us some pre-tweets or pre-texts. Count evens up 2 each. A look inside the primetime dugout. We've got a camera on the other side of the diamond as well to give you an occasional glimpse into the Tucson, Arizona dugout. Count runs full. The payoff pitch to Courier, and he will get the walk. Runners on the corners, tying run aboard here in the top of the second as Alex Brady comes to the plate. Brady with a couple of base runners aboard. That is Courier. Thank you very much for the pronunciation guide, by the way. I was provided one here, but I'm sure that here it's kind of like where I'm from. We've got the way we pronounce things, and it's not always accurate. And they've got the way they pronounce things, and it may not be accurate. So thank you very much. It is Courier. So Courier over at first, and Hamilton, the base runner, at third as it's fouled out of play by Brady. Count even, 1 apiece. Prime time from Vancouver. Not particularly far from here. Tucson, Arizona. Pretty good drive. Into left field, base hit. Prime time's on the board. A single by Alex Brady of the 2-out variety brings in Hamilton. And the lead cut in half, compliments of Brady. Trey will go to second. In scoring position for Hunter Reeves, Brady at first. Almost every ball game that's been played in this year's World Series tightly contested. There's just no reason, at least through the previous 9, to believe that Game 10 won't be just about the same way. Run rules have not decided any game. Biggest margin of victory was in that very first game when Blue Lick knocked off Tucson 12-4. So it was an 8-run margin of victory there. Then Cape Cod, a 5-run margin of victory over Surrey County. 2 runs, Mid-County, Texas beating Moses Lake. And then a 2-run victory for Charleston, Missouri over Ephrata. 5 runs, Mid-County, Texas beating Vancouver. 4, Cape Cod over New Jersey. A 3-run Moses Lake win over the Tucson squad. Just a run separated Ephrata and Surrey County. And 5 runs, Charleston, Missouri over Mount Olive, New Jersey. Reeves is struck out, but not before a base hit by Brady. The single drives in Hamilton, and the lead is cut in half. We headed into the top of the second with a 2-run Pro Hammer lead. It's 1 now. Fanning, Ortiz, and Bannerman coming up when we get to the bottom of the second on Jock Jive.
Are your kids rough on your furniture? Things looking a little run down? Then come to More Furniture in Ephrata and we can help get things back in order. We have all the top name brands made with strong quality support, including Sealy Posturepedic mattresses, because whatever you do in bed, Sealy supports it. The next time your furniture is in need of some replacing, stop into More Furniture in Ephrata, locally owned and trusted for over 100 years.
One-run plates in the top part of the inning. The error got Hamilton on. It was the single that got Hamilton in. A 2-1 contest as we head to the bottom of the second. Sean Fanning, Brandon Ortiz, Drake Bannerman 2 up in the inning 2. A hazy start to the work week. 2:28 here in Ephrata, Washington, which means folks down in Tucson, it's probably about 3:30 in the afternoon. I know Arizona's got, I don't know, it's not odd times, but they do their changing of times either differently or no change of time. I know there's a little difference in how things are handled time-wise, and my producer says they don't change times in Arizona. So it stays the same as whatever it normally is, Central Standard Time, I guess, in one part of the year. 4 pitches outside of the strike zone as Fanning is given a walk. So I guess the bottom line for me is I don't know what time it is in Arizona, but it's a Monday afternoon. But I do know in Vancouver, Washington, where folks are watching there, it's 2:29 in the afternoon. If you happen to be watching us on the East Coast, it is 5:30 on a Monday afternoon, soon to be a Monday evening there. 5 pitches in a row outside of the strike zone. Brandon Ortiz batting with Fanning the base runner at first. Alex Brady, the left-hander, looking squarely at first as he's on the bump. Another pitch outside of the strike zone. 2 runs in the bottom of the first, 1 run in the top of the second. 2-1 contest, nobody out and 1 aboard as the pitch misses again. And 7 straight outside of the strike zone will get Alex Brady a visit from Parker Reeves. Conversation over. Back behind the plate, Reeves. Back up onto the bump, Brady. With his lead over at first, Fanning. Here's the 3-0 offering. Into the strike zone. Well, all it took was a visit from your teammate. Reeves goes out, settles Brady down a bit. Let's see if he can run the count full. The 3-1 offering. Outside, another walk. Fanning walked, Ortiz walked as well. A couple of base runners on for Drake Bannerman.
Number 47, Drake Bannerman.
By the way, I mentioned in the 3rd and 4th innings, we take shout-outs where you see World Series and hashtag Babe Ruth WS. We'll post the number. Quick throw to second, able to get back safely is Fanning, and we're looking for shout-outs where you're watching from, and I guess if it's the work day steal for you, you might want to throw that in too if you're allowed to watch at work. Give a little free publicity to that business that allows you to watch your favorite baseball. 0-1 on Drake Bannerman, your officiating crew for this one. Dennis Duke behind the plate. Jeremy Cranston is at second. Greg Chenard is umpiring third. The 0-1 pitch, Bannerman shows bunt. Goes after it. Not able to connect, but it rolls away from Reeves, and it serves the same purpose. Gets base runners over 1. Fanning goes to third, Ortiz to second. Couple of RBI opportunities for Bannerman as Jesse Carmona moves to the on-deck circle. Outside of the strike zone. Brady stepping off the bump will look over towards third to make sure that Fanning stays nearby. There's the 1-2 pitch. Bannerman waits. Reaches out, can't connect. He is fanned, and there's one away with the base runners having to hold. First K of the contest for Alex Brady as he strikes out his pitching counterpart, Drake Bannerman. There is one away for Jesse Carmona. Top of the order moves to the on-deck circle, DeMarco Vasquez. Carmona, the left-hander, lefty versus lefty. High pitch, ball one. Fanning walked, he's now at third. Ortiz walked, now at second. Bannerman struck out. And there's one away for Jesse Carmona. Outside, and there you see Carmona instructing the guy at third, Sean Fanning, to stay put there. Here's the 2-0 offering. Well, you can see the body language. You can see the flinching of the elbow by Carmona. He had thought about it, backed out of the box, shaking his head yes, which is a very strong indication that he thought, yeah, that was a strike, knew it all along, should have swung at it, but did not. And now time called as Carmona will go talk to coach. Fanning and Ortiz on, conversation brief. The one thing that we have not had a whole lot of, we did on Friday, but since then not much, that typically we do get a good dose of during a World Series here, and that is wind. Had some pretty good gusts on Friday during setup, but since play has started on Saturday, it's been relatively wind-free. I remember a couple of years ago when we were here for the first World Series that we did in Ephrata. Had what looked like a storm. I mean, it had gotten very cloudy. Didn't produce much, if any, rain, but a heck of a lot of wind. As a matter of fact, the Babe Ruth World Series banner, which is in left field, ripped from the fence. Compliments of all the wind that tore through 3 years back. 4 times in 6 years, this has been the site for this World Series. Another walk, this one issued to Carmona, and Alex Brady has put 3 on. We head back to the top of the order. DeMarco Vasquez next, Nano Vasquez to follow. Well, I mentioned after a 4-minute top part of the first that don't take that as a gauge for what the game would be like. It's now in the bottom of the second, and we are 32 minutes later. Fouled back by Vasquez, 0-1. So wind anticipated. Rain, not so much here. About 15 inches falls each year. So a delay in the game because of rain, not likely. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It is fouled off, the count 0-2. I thought it was interesting, though, when we arrived here, and there, of course, was the smoke and the haze. It was a waitress at a hotel saying they're still going to play because of all the smoke. Well, I didn't really think about it until she said something. Certainly not thick enough now, but I guess there may be times here in Ephrata where it hampers outdoor activities. Foul out of play. The hope is no. Got lots of baseball for the remainder of today, Tuesday and Wednesday as well. You get into bracket play on Thursday with 5 and 7:30 games. Same thing for Friday. The semis will be at 5 and 7:30. And then on Saturday after 1, the championship. 1 year ago, the Alabama Raw Dogs from Mobile won it all. One thing we are guaranteed this year is that it will be a brand new champion. 2 years ago, the Ephrata River Dogs won it all in Oregon. Year before that, the Raw Dogs. It's been Dog winning the World Series over the last 3 or 4 years. Fouled off again by Vasquez. Got 2 dogs still in the hunt, and 2 River Dogs, as a matter of fact. Got the Moses Lake River Dogs and the Ephrata River Dogs. Got some cats, actually some fish though, some mud cats still in search. Got some squirrels. Got your marauders, got your hammers, got your prime time. All still in the hunt for the title. Wrapped into center field and just out of reach of a diving Dylan Hamilton. Sean Fanning will come in and score. Ortiz does. Carmona tagged out of the plate. So the Fanning run will count. The Ortiz run will count. Carmona tagged out at the plate for out number 2. Vasquez. He is safely at third, and there is an injured player. That is Jesse Carmona, who was on the receiving end of the tag at the plate. Well, he saw the ball roll over towards the dugout, did not realize that it had ricocheted back onto the field of play, and there is the tag, and there's the problem. You see the hyperextension of the knee, but he is walking into the dugout and appears to be okay. So a couple of runs were played. It's a 4-1 lead. Back to the top of the order, DeMarco Vasquez, who popped out to left field, swings and misses. Got a Vasquez on, got a Vasquez batting. And third is DeMarco. In the box is Nano. And it's a 3-run Tucson, Arizona lead here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 1-1 offering from Brady. Swung on and missed 1 and 2. Keegan Kraft moves to the on-deck circle in the third. Top part of the inning, it's the bottom part of the order for prime time. Derek Mettler will start things off. Then we will get back to the 1 and 2 spots, Isaiah Parker and Jasper Rank. 1-2 pitch, too low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 gone in inning number 2. And 2 runs have played, as did 2 in the first. And it is 2:42. Boy, got a lot of 2s going on. Into the strike zone. There's a 3, and it turns into the strikeout of Vasquez. But another 2-run inning for Pro Hammer. And they will take a 3-run lead into the top of the third, bottom of the order coming up for prime time. And your shout-outs coming up in the third, all on jockjive.com.
Sure, Trustology is about sharing our financial expertise and helping our clients succeed. But it's also about helping local families enjoy a more festive holiday season, making sure parents have the supplies they need, and giving local charities everything they can grab in 90 seconds. It's employees who have a passion for serving their neighbors and the communities they live in. When you see Washington Trust's Crew in Blue doing their thing, that's Trustology in action. See more at Trustology.
4-1 advantage. Tucson, Arizona with the lead as we head to the top of the third, bottom of the order. Derek Mettler will start things off for prime time. Isaiah Parker, Jasper Rank due up in the inning too. Time to get to your shout-outs. 334-488-1385. The number here, 334-488-1385. We'll post it on the scoreboard. So you don't have to remember it. Don't have to write it down if you don't want to. But here is what we're looking for. As it is rolled slowly towards third. Madero getting it over to first to get Mettler on the 5-3. And by now you probably know what we're looking for. The shout-outs need to include a shout-out. Cheer on a team member or cheer on a team. Where are you watching from? City, state, country. We've heard from all over the place, including Japan. And if you want to include the work spot, if they're letting you watch the game at work, it's okay with the boss. And you want to get in the work spot a little free pub to a big audience on Facebook, a big audience online, and a big audience in the Ephrata, Washington area, then okay, include that too. 334-488-1385. Isaiah Parker with one away, nobody aboard. And again, a reminder, it happens in the third and fourth only. Shout out to Dylan Hamilton. Love you, sweetie pie, from Grandma Patty. And only Grandma can get away with calling you sweetie pie when you're 16 to 18 years of age. But go get him sweetie pie from Grandma. Shout out to Austin Hicks. You got this, bud, and way to go, Cole Nichols, on that triple. Watching from back home in Bell City, Missouri. Into center field, a one-out base hit, Isaiah Parker getting the shot into center field. That will be the second base hit of the game for prime time. And the base runner on for Jasper Rank. Rank with a line out to shortstop in the first. Parker Reeves moves to the on-deck circle. Shout out to Jake the Snake Hammond and the prime time squad. Let's get it from Tyler Lee. Go prime time. Love you, Jacob, from Mom. Good job, Adrian Madero, playing third base, Tucson, Arizona. One and 0 on Rank. Parker, the base runner, at first. Mettler went down on the 5-3. We're in the top part of the third. In safely is Parker at second. Throw down. Graff trying to gun him down, but and really the throw was where it needed to be. It was the momentum of Ortiz who was fielding. His forward motion pulled him to the other side of the bag. He may be out. Looks like Ortiz reached in and got that glove between the foot of Isaiah Parker and the bag. Right back to Bannerman. Lining out, and there's two gone. Hands up play by Parker as he hangs around second, gets back. They are unable to, Tucson, Arizona, double up on Parker. Two gone now, though, as Parker Reeves comes to the plate. Reeves wrapped into the 6-3 in the first. Shout out to Blue Lick. They're coming up in the next game. This game is going to be Fire. And they tried to give me a pronunciation guide, but listen, I'm an old timer. I don't know if I can still get it right. Fierboyer. It's probably way off, but thanks for an attempt to get me on the right track with a pronunciation guide. Vasquez boys, Mom and Dad cheering you on from Tucson. Outside of the strike zone to Parker Reeves. Way to get it started, Isaiah. Shout out to our homie DeMarco on Pro Hammer from Slate Robinson and the whole Blue Lick squad. Go prime time. Derek Machado Metler at third. Cheers from Maryland. Shout out to Danny Perez from Grandma and Grandpa in Tucson, Arizona. Let's go Adrian Madero. We love you, Grandma and Grandpa. Go Tucson, Arizona. 2 balls, no strikes. Wind beginning to pick up. Parker takes off for third. He will get there safely with a stolen base. And you hear that breeze beginning to blow into the field, Mike. The end of the face of the hitter was south at 6, beginning to pick up a bit. The American flag in center field coming off the mast, and you see the sleeves on Bannerman begin to flutter with the wind. Dylan Hamilton to the on-deck circle. Base runner at third. The Bannerman pitch swung on and missed. And I believe that is a 2-strike count. Though our scoreboard indicates otherwise, it is. We are tied in, as I mentioned previously, with the scoreboard in the box in the adjoining room. So if it's wrong, we get to pass the buck. On the inside part of the plate, strikeout of Reeves. Left on is Parker. Nobody scores in the top of the third. We are headed to the bottom part of the inning. Keegan Kraft, Adrian Madero, Danny Perez, all coming up for the Pro Hammer.
Ephrata is strategically located in the center of Washington State. The Port of Ephrata can meet your intermodal transportation and supply chain needs via road, rail, or air. Our most recently available property are 2 buildings that combine for 100,000 square feet of high bay heavy manufacturing space with multiple bridge cranes installed. When the workday is over, take advantage of the plentiful recreation opportunities in the area. Bring your business back to center in Ephrata, a center for commerce, a center for opportunity, and a centered life.
For more than 50 years, Tomer Construction has been helping build the Pacific Northwest. We've led successful projects throughout the area involving portable rock crushing, road construction, land clearing, land leveling, bridge construction, and structural concrete. We also offer fill material, sand, and gravel for your everyday landscape needs. For a free quote, call today, 509-787-3312. Tomer Construction, we're ready to serve you.
Bottom of the third, Keegan Kraft will start things off. Adrian Madero and Danny Perez due up in the inning 2. Shout out to DeMarco and Nana Vasquez from Dad, Mom, Sister, and the best brother in the world. Go primetime, cheering on Hayden Williamson, number 23 from Vancouver, Washington. Love Jen and the kids. Go number 5, Keegan Kraft from Tucson Pro Hammer from Grandpa and Grandma in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Shout out to Uncle Dylan Grow. On prime time, kick butt for me, Audrey. Found out a play. And that is Grauty, by the way. Had to pull out my pronunciation guide. Dylan Grauty. Shout out to Derek Metler from Uncle Mike. 0-1 on the leadoff guy here in the bottom part of the third. Keegan Kraft. Shout outs in the third and fourth. Let's do this Pro Hammer. Swing and a miss. Kraft with an RBI single in the first, stole a base, came in and scored a run on Danny Perez's sac fly to left field. Pro Hammer put a couple of runs on the board in the first. They played in 2 runs in the second as well. We will see if that trend continues against Brady in the third. Backhanded it short by Parker. He's got a long throw over, and that will be an infield Keegan Kraft single, his second base hit of the game. More shout outs. Let's go Pro Hammer. Come on, Adrian Madero from Tata Madero. And it is Madero, who had a single and stole a base, who steps into the batter's box. slowly rolled towards third, but in foul territory, and Madero will go back to the box. Meanwhile, back to first goes Graff. Not a particularly heavy slate of Major League Baseball games today. And nothing has yet to begin. It's all a little bit later on, but here's what you have got in the majors. Nationals taking on the Marlins, Pirates the Tigers. Reds have the Padres, Twins will battle the Brewers. Cards and Royals tangled. Cubs got the Giants, and the Orioles and Angels in Major League Baseball. 10,042 likes on Facebook. 10,042. So if you want to be 1043, go to Facebook and put Jock Jive Sports in the search engine. And while you're at it, if you are on Facebook, and especially if you're watching the game on Facebook, I'm sure that Babe Ruth Baseball would love to have you like their page as well. You just got all kinds of things you can like. Hit towards the gap. That will drop in as a base hit. And it may be more than one for Madero. Graff on his way to third. Nope, a single for Madero. Able to get over quickly and cut it off was Reeves, but Graff will wind up at third. Madero with a base hit is at first. That is the 6th Pro Hammer base hit of the game. And they're runners at first and third for Danny Perez. Perez already with an RBI on a sac fly to left field in the first. John Dormanen on deck. Shout out Jesse Carmona, DeMarco, and Nano. Way to represent from Gabe Carrillo. Perez foul tips it back. Perez with that shot to left field, caught by Rank, but tagging and scoring was Graff. And Perez here in the third. That happened in the first. Similar situation in that he's got Graff again at third. He's got Madero again on the base path, but instead of second, got him currently at first. John Dormanen awaiting his opportunity next. Alex Brady, 64 pitches thus far, and here comes toss number 65. Stolen base for Madero, and now those circumstances exactly the same as when Perez stepped into the batter's box in the first. Graff and Madero on, and they are on in the same spots at second and at third. Infield is now in tight on the grass for the purpose of trying to get Graff. Problem is that creates bigger gaps between they and the outfielders and more room for Danny Perez to drop something in and drive somebody in. Here is the 2-1 Alex Brady pitch. Too far inside, 3-1. And I don't know that it's necessarily bad strategy. Well, there is what I was about to say in putting Perez on. I mean, you know he can damage you with his bat. And if you put him aboard, then you got force outs everywhere.
First baseman number 2, John Dormanen.
So when Madero got the second, the decision made, and it does save a few pitches for Alex Brady. You can, in the world of Babe Ruth baseball, issue an intentional walk without having to consume up the pitches to get him there. So Perez is walked. And the bases are loaded for John Dormanen. If you are primetime, you don't particularly like the bases loaded scenario, but you do like the fact that you put a dangerous hitter on and have the possibility of getting force outs everywhere. And there's always the possibility you do, as was done earlier this morning, pull off the triple play. Now, how rare would that be to have 2 triple plays in back-to-back games? Swing and a miss. I mentioned in the earlier game, to my knowledge, and I've been doing sports for, I hate to say it, but probably about 35 or more years. I can remember seeing a triple play in high school baseball about 3 years ago. He is bunted back up the middle to Brady, and he'll overshoot his target. He had the force out at home, but overthrows Reeves. And Graff will score on the E1. And the base is still loaded.
Left fielder, number 19, Sean Fanning.
And now a 5-1 contest. Been talking about the triple play. As you see, Keegan Graff, torn trousers and all, come home and score the run that matches the number on the back of the jersey. But it was just a week ago that I saw my second triple play in a baseball game down in Mississippi. And I'm talking about games that we have actually broadcast. And here a week later, another triple play. So if a 4th triple play in my career was turned, that would be so odd to have it happen on the exact same day when there's been so few over the course of many, many years. Count even, 1 apiece on Sean Fanning. Bases full. John Dorman at first. Danny Perez at second. Adrian Madero, the base runner, at third. 1 run in. And Tucson, Arizona, which has played at a couple of runs every inning, has a chance to do that and then some here in the third. More shout-outs go Keegan from Uncle Dave in Illinois. I don't know that we've heard from Illinois in this series until now. Welcome aboard. Lifted into left field. That will drop in as a base hit. Coming in to score is Madero. Perez given the green light as well. He will motor home 2. 2 more runs plate. It's now a 7-1 Tucson lead. Sean Fanning with a couple of RBIs on the single. Dorman will go to third. Fanning, the base runner, at first for Brandon Ortiz. And Alex Brady is a couple of pitches away from a mandatory 2-day rest after his pitching stint here. And here comes Coach, and let's see if he has opted to take Brady out, and I think he has. And if early indications are accurate, looks like Mettler is going to be the guy coming in. He's the third baseman that's taken off all the extra gear, and all of those good signs that it may be Mettler that is coming in to relieve Brady. So after 74 pitches, the day done for Brady. He will be good with a day's rest if they need him back on the hill later. And it is indeed Derek Mettler who is coming to the hill. We'll get you the numbers on Brady when we return. You are watching the Babe Ruth World Series on JockJive.com.
Hotel in Ephrata that offers large, clean, king and queen size bedrooms with microwaves, fridges, cable TV, HBO, ESPN, and more. Free coffee and free continental breakfast included as well. They also have fax services and high-speed internet available to all rooms, all for an unbelievable low price. I'm talking about the Ephrata Inn Motel, where it's their business to serve you. Call today toll-free at 877-454-3575, located at 848 Basin Street Southwest, the Ephrata Inn Motel.
On the left, the $6 footlong Subway Club with turkey, Black Forest ham, and roast beef. On the right, the sweet onion chicken teriyaki dripping in sweet onion sauce. 2 footlongs enter, none leave, because you ate them. The sweet onion chicken teriyaki and the Subway Club, they're footlongs and they're $6 each. Subway, so much sandwich.
Derek Mettler, the former third baseman, now the pitcher, getting his warm-up tosses in. Now at third is Taryn Yarnell, and Alex Brady will leave after throwing 74 pitches He will work officially 2 innings. And in those 2 innings of work, gets a couple of strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4 walks issued. Seven base hits and thus far 7 runs. But there are a couple of base runners on that would be his responsibility. John Dorman is at third, Sean Fanning at first, and Brandon Ortiz coming to the plate. So Alex Brady, 74 pitches, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks, 7 hits, 7 runs, but 2 on. As we are in the bottom of the third and 1 hour, 4 minutes in. More shout outs. This one to Andre. You're the best from your little brother Quentin in Vancouver. Rooting for you, Longview. Alex Brady, love you, Shelby. Shout out to Keegan from your girlfriend Michaela in Arizona. Into the strike zone with the opening toss to Brandon Ortiz. Ortiz walked and scored a run in that 2-run second inning. Into the dirt with a toss from Mettler. And the count even at 1 each. And then wind continuing to pick up. A little more brisk on your Monday afternoon, and the American flag in center field lifted substantially off the mast. 2-1 on Ortiz. Drake Bannerman moving to the on-deck circle. Fanning with the stolen base now in second. Dorman and the base runner at third. Couple of base runners in scoring position. Here's the 3-1 offering from Mettler. Popped up towards left. Rank's got room, and that's too shallow to send Dorman in from third. So 1 out with the Ortiz fly out. Drake Bannerman coming to the plate. Jesse Carmona moves to the on-deck circle. Couple of games to go today. You've got at 5 o'clock this afternoon the Ohio Valley champs, Blue Lick, Kentucky, taking on Moses Lake. And then, of course, the nightcap, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Ephrata, Washington. Hit to second. Hamilton comes home with it, and the runner is tagged out, coming in, Dorman. And apparently Reeves got the raw end of the deal. He has got his face in the sand, in the dirt. Well, they're taking the shin guards off, which first thought was there a knee issue or a leg issue or an ankle problem? And apparently that is the issue, is they're dealing with the left leg of catcher Parker Reeves. So Dorman goes out on the 4-3. Let's see if we can pick up what may have happened. Looked like it was knee on knee. Looked like when Dorman came sliding in. The good thing was that Reeves did pull that leg back. Boy, if it stayed planted, there is some real problems ahead. But right there, it kind of kicked that knee around. And still may be issues, but if that Reeves leg had stayed planted, this gives you a good angle. If it stays planted, there's really serious problems with this slide in. But fortunately it gave, but still may have gotten the knee of Dorman. And from that angle, it looks more like the banging together of knees, that the left knee of Dorman got the left knee area of Reeves. Well, there you see Reeves walking away, and that's not got a good look to it. He is putting very little weight on that leg and quickly up and throwing and getting behind the plate. Hayden Williamson. And there you see Reeves, leg propped up. They will tend to the knee, and we certainly hope that Reeves will be fine. And that it's one of those situations, hopefully, in which, yeah, it's painful to begin with, but once the pain clears, it's feeling a whole lot better. We're hoping it's not like one of those that gets worse with swelling. So 2 gone with a throw out of Dormanen at the plate. Fanning has made his way to third. He is there for the Drake Bannerman at bat. Hayden Williamson checking into the lineup. He will be behind the plate. Shout out to Parker Reeves, looking good in the catcher's outfit. Well, he's the gentleman who is now in pain over into the dugout, but we're hoping that he is going to look good shortly, and that all matters leg related will be good to go, and we'll get a thumbs up in regards to Parker Reeves. Shout out to the primetime baseball team, with special mention to my grandsons Hunter and Parker, with love from Grandma Jackie and all the family in Point Roberts. Into right field, that is a Drake Bannerman base hit that will bring in, or actually that is Carmona with a base hit, because Bannerman, of course, had wrapped into the 4-3 that created the problems at home plate that got Dormanen out, but also got Parker Reeves out with the injury. So it is Fanning who will come in and score. It is Bannerman who goes to second, and it's an RBI single credited to Jesse Carmona. Back to the top of the order. DeMarco Vasquez wrapped to third, scooped up there by Yarnell. He will step on the bag ahead of the arrival of Bannerman, get the out and put it into the inning, but not before more runs plate. 4 go on the board in the third. It's an 8-1 Tucson, Arizona lead. We head to the top part of the fourth.
On the train test range, you learn what makes our heating and cooling systems so reliable. If there's a breaking point, we'll find it. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Look inside the Tucson, Arizona dugout. You don't see the happy campers because they're out onto the field, but that's a pretty happy Tucson, Arizona dugout. They needed a win. Right now they've got the lead. They don't have the win, and there's plenty of time for prime time to come back, but with a 7-run lead in the top of the fourth, they're certainly feeling a little more comfortable in the Pro Hammer dugout as compared to the prime time dugout. Speaking of prime time, Dylan Hamilton will start things off. Jacob Hammond, Andre Shear due up in the inning. All facing Drake Bannerman. Our longest game of the World Series thus far, 2 hours, 17 minutes. We might surpass that with this one. We are only in the fourth and an hour 13 in. Dylan Hamilton reached on an error and scored a run in the second. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Bannerman. Fouled back, 2-1. Let's get to more shout-outs. We do it in the third and fourth, so still got an inning to take your shout-outs. This one to the Vasquez brothers and the boys from Pro Hammer. Keep it up from Elena, watching from work at Arizona State University. Thanks for watching there at Arizona State. Base hit. Dylan Hamilton gets on to lead off the primetime fourth. And a base runner aboard for Jacob Hammond. We love you, Brandon Ortiz, number 22. Baba, Tita, Ernie, Lee Thomas, and Mama Crawford from Tucson. You are the light of my life. So proud of you from Ernie in Tucson, Arizona. Another base hit going the other way to the right side. Jacob Hammond. Hamilton on his way to third. The throw well off its mark, designed to get Hamilton. What it does do is gets Hammond to second. So back-to-back singles for the fourth have prime time in business. And Andre Shear coming to the plate with a couple of RBI opportunities. Well, I wonder if Ernie in Tucson, Arizona was thinking of the old Debbie Boone song, You Light Up My Life, 1977. Stayed number 1 for 10 weeks in a row. About the only Debbie Boone song that she had success with, but my, was it successful. Shout out to number 22 for Arizona. Sure knows how to rock a uniform, says the shout out. Hey, I do not write them, just read them. Nice hit, Carmona, it was indeed. The base hit in the bottom of the third. Shout out to Parker Reeves. It says, keep that leg up, get better, and kick Arizona's butt, feel better. And the little, in a colon and parentheses to look like a smile. Way to go, Jesse. Love Mom in Tucson, Arizona. Pitch high, 2-1. Keegan Graff taking the opportunity to go talk to his pitcher, Drake Bannerman. Bannerman, 49 pitches. Has a couple of base runners on, 7-run lead, and maybe part of the conversation from Keegan Graff is, you know, you're doing fine, just don't get too comfortable with a 7-run lead. Stay focused. Meanwhile, prime time, they like what they see thus far in the fourth with back-to-back base hits. Into the strike zone, the count goes even at 2. Let's go Pro Hammer. Love you, Adrian Madero from Dad. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. As Primetime tries to chip into the Pro Hammer 7-run advantage here in the top of the fourth. On the inside part of the plate, and Andre Shear, well, maybe he won his appeal. I thought it was a called strike. Shear has gone down to first. Let's see if we didn't get a strike. Well, it's difficult to tell. Maybe Shear thought he had called a strike. Let's see from this angle if he got hit by the pitch. Must have, and apparently Shear thought what I thought, and that was the call from Dennis Duke, the plate umpire, was a strike, and that's when the plate umpire says, let me clarify to you, I just pointed to first. That was not a strike indication. That was a point to first for you to take the bat. So Mike can understand Shear's confusion. I thought it was a strike as well. And there you see the clarification. As Dennis Duke probably said something along the lines of, son, I said go to first. Bases all loaded up for prime time. Foul back by Cole Shure. And prime time trying to put together their most productive inning of the contest. They had a 1-run top of the second, and that's been the lone run thus far. But have the bases loaded with nobody out in the fourth. Taryn Yarnell has moved to the on-deck circle. Shout out to my little Pan Dulce. We love you, number 22, from Tucson, Arizona. Here's the 1-2 offering. On the outside part of the plate, struck out as Cole Sherray. One gone for Taryn Yarnell. Yarnell came in to play third when Alex Brady was pulled from the hill. He will bat in the spot previously occupied by Brady, that 8th spot overall. He's the 5th to go to the plate here in the 4th. Strike delivered. Bases all loaded up. Hunter Reeves on deck. An 8-1 Arizona lead here in the top part of the 4th. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there have been few games that you would consider routes. A 7-run lead is substantial. But as I have also mentioned, it is not over. And Prime Time's got the bases full here in the top of the 4th for Taryn Yarnell. Too far inside. 2-1. Slow-paced game. Base runners, a big part of the reason. Both pitchers and now multiple pitchers. Very slow and deliberate with base runners aboard, and not particularly expeditious with nobody on. As the count is even on Yarnell. More shout-outs. This one says number 22 for Arizona is a stud. Here's the 2-2. Out of the strike zone, count runs full. Thinking about home was Hamilton, but decides why chance it, why run into and out. With just an out here in the 4th. Here is the 3-2 offering from Bannerman, 60 pitches into his tenure on the hill. And there's a prime example, by the way, of what I was mentioning about how slow the process has been between pitches with or without base runners on. More so, though, with base runners aboard. And part of the reason here, Bannerman and Graff just weren't on the same page. And you could see Bannerman with his palms going skyward, that he was asking basically with his body language, you know, what do you want? So Graff out to talk to Bannerman. Bannerman back up onto the hill. Graff back behind home plate. Sheer, Hammond, and Hamilton all aboard. Throw goes to second. Safely back in goes Hammond. Well, admittedly, we knew it was coming. One of those really long baseball games after some really short ones, or at least some relatively so. And an hour, 35-minute game yesterday, line foul. And the count full on Yarnell. Had an hour, 39-minute game on Saturday. Longest game thus far, as I mentioned, 2:17. It stays 3-2. Shout out for the Arizona boys from Benson, Arizona. The Bannerman pitch into right field. That will bring in Hamilton. Hammond putting on the brakes. Then it will get by Carmona briefly in right field. That convinces Hammond to come in and score. Yarnell makes it an 8-3 game. I am thinking, and we'll see if the official scorekeeper agrees, that it's an RBI single and an error that brings in the additional run. Have not seen the E post yet. Have seen the H. And a couple of runs come in. Meanwhile, 2/3 goes Shear. And Yarnell now the base runner at first. Well, I've not seen an error pop up on the board, so a apparent just across the board base hit. And it will bring in a couple of runs for Yarnell. Hunter Reeves, who struck out in the second, coming to the plate here in the fourth. Throw down a third, and they got him. The runner steals from first, Yarnell. Shear comes way off the bag, and Graff picks him off. And you can almost see Shear go, uh-oh. Throw goes to Madero, able to lay the tag on Shear. Two gone, Yarnell at second. Hunter Reeves batting here in the top of the fourth. Derek Mettler, third baseman turned pitcher, moving to the on-deck circle. Shout out to Brandon Ortiz. That kid saved my kitty from a tree once. Two and 0 the count. Couple of outs, base runner on, couple of runs in, 8-3 contest. Swing and a miss. And now coming out to talk with who? Let's see. Well, coach was out of the dugout, came over to talk apparently with his catcher Keegan Graff. Thank you, host families from the Madero family. Thank you for the hospitality. A lot of host families here in Ephrata hosting team members from all 10 teams. 3-1. With his lead at second is Yarnell. Mettler waiting for an opportunity. Two gone, top of the fourth, and there is a pitch outside of the strike zone. The walk is issued. 68th toss of the game from Drake Bannerman puts a base runner on. And Derek Mettler, who is wrapped into the 5-3, comes to the plate, top of the order. Isaiah Parker moving to the on-deck circle. Graff out to the hill to talk to Bannerman. You got all kinds of conversations going on. Vasquez talking with his third baseman Madero right there with Greg Chouinard in the middle, and they all break away with a smile on their face. Mettler steps in. Strike one to Mettler. Mettler wrapped into a 5-3, 0 for 1. That happened in the third. Started the game at third, as I mentioned. Relieved Alex Brady after he worked a couple of innings. Time asked for. Runners at first and second. Here in the top of the fourth. Lazy fly ball towards left field. Sean Fanning will get over, make the catch, and put it into a very lengthy top part of the fourth. Seems like far more than 7 went to the plate. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 8-3 Tucson.
With today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at iFiber.tv.
Cheryl Konos Farmers Insurance is your local one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, and farm and ranch, Cheryl and Farmers are here for you. You never know when the unexpected will happen, so be ready for anything. She'll work for you to put together a package that fits your needs no matter how big or small. She's right here in Ephrata, so you can talk to her at any time. Please stop by for a free quote at 858 Basin Street Southwest or call 509-754-2550. Good luck to all the players and teams.
Keeping up with today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at
There's a good look at Johnson O'Brien Stadium from the third base side. And there is your line score. Vancouver 3-5-2 and couple of 8s and a 1 for Tucson, Arizona. As we head into the bottom of the fourth, you know, some games just, I guess sometimes are long and feel short, and there's some that are relatively short and feel long. I think this would fit into the latter. It's an hour 29 in, but it has felt like about a 2 to 2.5 hour game already. More shout outs. Mom loves her Vasquez boys. Hey, don't forget about the fact that Facebook and Twitter is where you can put hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Put that in, you catch all the big plays. We take the highlights of the day, the highlights from yesterday. You can go back and watch them too. Heck, if you want to, you can just like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you can go back into, I guess, January or March when we started putting all the highlights together. But you'll see the big plays from today and the Babe Ruth World Series by putting hashtag Babe Ruth WS in your search engine on Facebook and on Twitter. And of course, about a half inning left to take your shout outs. 334-488-1385. Watching while at work in Tucson. Go Drake. Nano Vasquez starting things off in the bottom of the fourth. 5 o'clock game will feature Blue Lick. First time we'll see the team out of Kentucky since 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, taking on Moses Lake. Blue Lick trying to stay in the driver's seat. They are 1-0. Moses Lake trying to enhance their chances. They are even at 1 in pool play. And of course, you've got a couple of divisions. American Division featuring New England's champion, the Southeast, the Midwest Plains, the Middle Atlantic, and the host, Ephrata. National Division, Ohio Valley, Southwest, Pacific Southwest, Pacific Northwest, and the Washington North State champs. World Series here in Ephrata, maybe for the last time. Sam and Randy Boroff, who have played a huge role in bringing the World Series here 3 out of the last 4 years, 4 out of the last 6, says time to let somebody else handle it. It will be handled next year in Jamestown, New York. Foul off, it stays full on Vasquez. Let's go prime time. Time to regroup and take control. Do what you do. Here's your 3-2 offering, foul off again. Got a gorgeous setup here, by the way. Ed Johnson, O'Brien, the Boroffs, and all the folks who put this together. They specifically kind of are the foundation of the helm, the apex of doing such. Really covered so many different angles. Down to the fact that they knew it was going to be warm. Temperatures expected to be triple digits, and on Friday before the World Series started, as that one is dropped into the strike zone, and out goes Vasquez. And there is one away with Keegan Graff coming to the plate. And Derek Metler will get his first K of the contest. But down to the overhang that allows a break from the sun for the fans sitting in the bleachers, to the air-conditioned tent with a 75-inch big screen and the big couch. Just those little extra touches that make it additionally nice. Inside 2-0 on Keegan Graff. Big day at the plate for Graff. Couple of singles. He scored a couple of runs. Stole a base, driven in a run as well. Adrian Madero has moved to the on-deck circle. More shout-outs. This one simply says, bring the heat, Derek. Out of the strike zone, 3-0. Out of the box, Graff looking down the line. Instructions from coach, back into the box. 6th inning, by the way, is when we take those followers on Twitter and recognize them. So if you're going to follow us on Twitter, hang around until the 6th. And our way of saying thank you is to read your Twitter handle. 3-1 pitch. It is 3-2 now on Graff. 10 teams from all parts of the country, 3 from here in Washington, Ephrata, Moses Lake, and Vancouver. And in 7 other regions of the country represented in the Babe Ruth World Series. And I mentioned, as this one is hit to Isaiah Parker at short, he will get the throw over in time to get Graff on the 6-3. But due to the fact that it is anticipated to be the last for the Boroffs, they have done some reflecting on years gone by. As a matter of fact, plaques handed out before the last game last night to Randy Boroff, also to the PA guy Steve. So that's probably going to be part of the landscape over the course of the last 3 or 4 days of this World Series, is to recognize those who have contributed over the years. Popped up on the infield by Madero. And coming in is Yarnell to make the catch. He waves everybody else off, and that does it for the 4th. Got one more shout out to close out all shout outs. Hang in there, prime time. You're still very much in the game. Shout out from Coach Scott's mom. Thanks for the shout outs. We go to the 5th on Jock Jive.
Come along now, join the fun in beautiful Grant County, Washington. Our lakes just can't be beat, our friends you'll love to meet in beautiful Grant County, Washington.
Call 800-992-6234 or tourgrantcounty.com. Brought to you by the Grant County Tourism Commission.
Right here in the Columbia Basin, located in Moses Lake, we've got a locally owned, operated car rental agency with a great selection of late model clean cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. They do direct billing to insurance companies when that unexpected accident happens and your car is laid up for that little moment. They're open 6 days a week with a new building and new location. 15 years of service to the Columbia Basin. Advance Rent-A-Car. Call them today, 765-39...
Top of the order, top of the 5th, Isaiah Parker will start things off. Jasper Rank, Parker Reeves due up in the inning 2. Pool play, when this one wraps up, officially at the midpoint. 10 games in and 10 games to go. When you get to Thursday, I don't know, it's going to feel like I'm cheating people, I guess, work-wise, because just a couple of games after 5 4-game days, just a couple of games on Thursday and Friday. In the 5 o'clock matchup, the 3rd place team out of the American Division will take on the 2nd place team out of the National. And in the 7:30 matchup, the 2 team from the American Division against the 3 team out of the National. You finish first. There is an incentive, obviously, to finish number 1. You get a bye on Thursday. Parker towards center field, but right at DeMarco Vasquez. 1 pitch, 1 away in the 5th. Jasper Rank coming to the plate. Parker Reeves slated to follow, but obviously he's got an injury, and it looks like Hayden Williamson has picked up a stick, and he will bat. Again, Reeves hurt as she collided with John Dormanen back in the 3rd. Looked like the knees banged together. And we're hoping for the best where Parker Reeves is concerned, that his series is not over, and that he's got more baseball ahead. Count even, 1 apiece on Jasper Rank. He's lined out to short and to the pitcher. Rolls this one to Bannerman, and he will field with a bare hand, get Rank on the 1-3. 2 gone, Hayden Williamson to the plate.
Catcher number 23, Aiden Williamson.
Your 50-50 raffle crew, girls driving right now. Get your tickets while you can.
Well, on your scoreboard, you see 16-18 World Series and then hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS is what you want to put in your Facebook and Twitter search engine to see all kinds of big plays. Spectacular plays been made today, yesterday as well. And there will be more made. There have been big plays in this game that are already on Facebook and Twitter in little 7 to 10 second clips. So check it out, hashtag Babe Ruth WS. And also be sure to like, to share, to love, and to retweet Facebook and Twitter. Parker Reeves, his couple of at-bats, a 6-3 put out in the first, a strikeout in the third. He has his replacement Hayden Williamson in the box here in the fifth with 2 gone. And a 3-1 count as Bannerman delivers pitch number 79 outside of the strike zone, and the walk issued to Williamson. Well, I can see that Hayden Williamson is not part of my family, not a Williamson that is kin to my group of Williamsons, because we don't know, first of all, how to run like that, nor would we. But you like the hustle. You got to love the fact that Williamson is anxious to get to first. He is aboard for Dylan Hamilton. Swing and a miss, count evens up at 1. I have always heard that my Williamsons originated in Alabama but then migrated to Texas. I don't think they got this far west. But again, if you're hustling like that, that's just not part of our Williamson makeup. You know, we just kind of plod along. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Wait for me. But Williamson now at first, hoping for an opportunity to get the second. Throw goes down to first. Williamson back in safely with the dive. Dylan Hamilton reached on an error, scored a run in the second. He singled and scored a run in the fourth. 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. 1 run in the second for Vancouver. They plated a couple of runs in the fourth. Tucson, 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Had a 4-run third, scoreless in the fourth. An appeal down to first base umpire Jeremy Cranston, asking if Hamilton had gone. He said no. Count him at 2. Danny Perez starts the fifth for Tucson. Just missed him. Bannerman thought he had it, but instead the count runs full. Well, that is certainly outside. Wrap back up the middle. Vasquez, no play at second, and his throw over to first misses there. Throw goes back over to third because that is where Dorman thought the runner was headed. Instead, it goes into left field, and the runner does head to third, but after the fact. Well, let's see how many E's pop on the board there. 2. You have the Vasquez throwing error. You have the Dorman throwing error. Williamson will wind up at third. Hamilton is at second. And 3 errors in all now committed by Tucson as Jacob Hammond comes to the plate. Into the strike zone to Jacob Hammond. He has struck out. He has singled. 1 for 2 with a run scored. Bannerman will not go the distance, by the way. If you are 85 pitches into the ball game in the top of the fifth with still the 6th and the 7th to go, chances are you can't wrap up those 2 innings with 18 pitches. Hit towards Carmona over and right. He will make the catch. Hammond will go down, and no damage will be done by the pair of errors during the Hamilton at bat. Couple of base runners left on. 7 have now been stranded by prime time. 4.5 in. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Perez, Dorman, and Fanning all coming to the plate for Tucson.
Golfers, challenge yourself this season at Gamble Sands in Brewster, Washington, just 33 miles from Lake Chelan. Hi, Kevin Calabro here. You know, every Gamble Sands round is a fabulous bucket list experience. Gamble Sands was designed by David McClay Kidd, author of The Bandon Dunes. Go to GambleSands.com and take a look at this place. You'll see why Golf Digest and Golf Magazine recognize Gamble Sands as the best new course of 2014. Certainly is mine. Make your tee times now at GambleSands.com.
Bottom of the 5th, John Dorman starting things off, or actually it is Perez that will start things off, and John Dorman will follow. Sean Fanning due up in the Tucson, Arizona 5th as well. A 5-run lead. It has been as much as 7. Currently 5 as we are into the 5th. Derek Mettler getting his last warm-up tosses in. Came in to relieve the starting pitcher Alex Brady after Brady worked a couple of innings. And that breeze getting a little stronger on a Monday here. Typically into the face of the hitter, occasionally left to right across Johnson O'Brien. And there is your line score as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Don't forget, in the 6th, we're going to welcome new Twitter followers by sending out your Twitter handle. It's our way of saying thanks for following. Popped up by Perez. And able to get over into right field to make the catch is Jacob Hammond. There's one away. 10,047 likes on Facebook. So it's been a pretty good day today. I think we started the day right at 36 shy of 10,000. 47 over now, so about 80 new likes. We appreciate that very much. Keep them coming. Listen, I'm not going to complain if we hit 11,000 before we leave here on Saturday. Got the World Series going on down in Alabama as well, which will run through at least Thursday. So, heck, who knows? Couple of pitches outside of the strike zone to John Dorman, and Dorman popped out to short in the 1st. He reached on an error in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2. And again, lots of breeze blowing in, as that wind has certainly picked up here on a Monday afternoon in Ephrata. Wrapped foul. Count evens up 2 each. Sean Fanning to the on-deck circle, 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. And I mentioned the agenda for us in the 6th. If you follow us on Twitter, if you haven't yet, do it. But before you do, as there was a swing and a miss, and out goes Dorman. And wait until the 6th so we can appropriately honor your following by sending out your Twitter handle. Sean Fanning with 2 gone and nobody aboard. Fanning walked and scored a run in the 2nd. He singled, drove in a pair of runs, stole a base, and scored a run in the 3rd. Derek Mettler finding his groove. He's got Perez and Dorman out, and ahead on the count to Sean Fanning. Count evens up at 1. Here's the 1-1 offering, and it pops Fanning. Well, that was a dink on the Fanning Fanny as he goes down to first, and Brandon Ortiz will try to move the runner over. There have been base runners in every inning with the exception of the fourth for Pro Hammer. That was the inning in which Mettler retired the side in order, striking out Vasquez, getting Graff to wrap into the 6-3 and Madero to pop out to third. Roll towards Hamilton. He will go over to first with a throw and get Ortiz. No damage done by the hit batsman. 4 go up, 3 go down, 1 left on. 7 stranded now through 5 for Pro Hammer. We head to the 6th. Shear, Sheree, and Yarnell all coming to the plate for prime time.
Are your kids rough on your furniture? Things looking a little run down? Then come to More Furniture in Ephrata and we can help get things back in order. We have all the top name brands made with strong quality support, including Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. Because whatever you do in bed, Sealy supports it. The next time your furniture is in need of some replacing, stop into More Furniture in Ephrata, locally owned and trusted for over 100 years.
Top of the 6th, mid part of the order. Andre Shear starting things off. Cole Schrey. Taron Yarnell 2 up in the inning 2. Prime time trying to put the hits together, the runs together to be able to overcome the 5-run deficit. Still got time to do it though as we are into the 6th. By the way, did you hear that I mentioned it's the 6th inning? Rolled slowly to Bannerman. He's got a barehanded. And he'll throw it away. Nowhere close to its target. As a matter of fact, Dorman made no effort to reach because he knew he couldn't get it. Bannerman will throw it up against the fence, and that will get Shear to second. That is the 4th Tucson error.
Now batting the second baseman, Cole Schrey.
And it's got Shear in scoring position for Cole Schrey. Well, in the 6th inning, brand new Twitter followers, we recognize you and show you a little love by sending out that Twitter handle. Go to Twitter, put @JockJive in the search engine, and then you follow us, and we recognize your following. @JockJive. So do it. Well, thank you. It's the 6th inning only that we recognize. Your strike delivered on the outside part of the plate to Schrey. Schrey has walked and struck out. At Lilu Zimmer. Lilu Zimmer. Now following us on Twitter @L Tamouche. @L Tamouche. Thanks so much. @Supercoach12. Good to have @Supercoach12 now following us. @KMF. Actually, KM Family YMCA. KM Family YMCA. Thanks so much for following. How about radio? @Ram Radio 981. WRMZ 98.1. The Ram now following us. Hi, Ram followers. @Ram Radio 981. 2-1 on Schrey. Yarnell has moved to the on-deck circle. Shear, the base runner, at second. Nobody gone. Top of the 6th. 1 hour, 53-minute contest. Foul back up against the screen. @Cam Mendler 27. @Cam Mendler 27. Thanks so much for following. @Riversmith 14. We appreciate very much @Riversmith 14. @Matty Bond, that is MADII, @Matty Bond, now following us. We appreciate that. Strikeout of Schrey, and there's one away. And there is the toss from Bannerman that into the at-bat for Schrey. Taron Yarnell coming to the plate. And is Bannerman going to get his full complement of 105? He is at 95. And coach came out. Bannerman took a look at the board that indicates the pitch count. Has 10 pitches, so probably part of the conversation was, hey, make the pitches count. You only got 10 left, need 2 outs, like to use you through the 6th. At Skylar Hines, 57. Now following us on Twitter, at Skylar Hines, 57. See, that's how you do it. You just follow us in the 6th inning. And we send out a love and appreciation to you by reading the Twitter handle. Popped up. Carmona will get over near the line, make the catch. Tagging, that is Shearer, but he will turn around and go back to second. Hunter Reeves coming to the plate. Well, Bannerman heeding coach's advice, 1 pitch and an out. And now he's got 9 before he must exit per Babe Ruth rules. Down to the strike zone to Hunter Reeves. Derek Metler moving to the on-deck circle. Bottom part of the order when you get to the bottom of the 6th for Tucson, Arizona. Drake Bannerman, Jesse Carmona, DeMarco Vasquez due up in the inning 2. Into the strike zone and the count goes even at 1. Trying to think back in the crevices of my mind as to whether we have had a pitcher get a complete game. I know we've had several get to within an out of a complete game, but that pitch count took him off the mound. And as I mentioned, no matter what, Bannerman's not going to get a complete game from the standpoint of 7 innings of work. Unless, of course, he had a 3-pitch 7. Three and 1 now on Hunter Reeves. And 100 Drake Bannerman pitches. Don't forget, follow us in the 6th. We acknowledge it. Throw goes to Vasquez in second, able to dive back in safely as Shear. I know there are some youth divisions that count the throws from the catcher. If a catcher is going to be a pitcher, a strike delivered, if he is going to come in relief, they take the number of throws he makes from behind the plate back to the pitcher and take that into consideration. Here's the payoff pitch to Reeves. Fouled out of play. Toss 1-0-2. By the way, Bannerman can finish this at bat regardless. If Reeves were to foul off 4 or 5 in a row, Bannerman can still finish out the at bat in which the 105 mark is attained. Foul off again, it stays full. Eight-3 contest, top of the 6th, 1 hour, 57 minutes into this one. Foul off again. That's pitch 104, and the only way that there'll be more than 105 is if Reeves fouls another pitch off. That one missed, but barely, and that's going to do it for Bannerman. Walks Reeves, couple of base runners on. That is pitch 105. And that puts it into the Drake Bannerman stint on the hill. I know Coach was hoping that he would be able to get him through the 6th and go to the 7th with a new guy, but Bannerman's hit the 105 mark. He won't face Mettler. We'll have a new guy doing it when we return to Ephrata, Washington.
Paul Lozier was a Grant County farmer who supported a number of community causes throughout his lifetime. He created the Paul Lozier Charitable Foundation to continue his charitable giving. The Paul Lozier Scholarship Foundation provides scholarships to students attending colleges within Washington. To learn more, please visit the Lozier Foundation website at www.lozier.org or find us on Facebook. The Paul Lozier Foundation, a legacy of charitable giving.
Whether you're looking for a bigger car to support your growing family, a new truck for your business, or something to pull that toy of yours, we've got you covered at Barry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ephrata. Come see us today and learn why your family, friends, and neighbors buy their cars at Barry. On Basin Street for more than 35 years, and with locations in Moses Lake and Wenatchee, we are one great place to buy a car. Call or click 754-2411 or barrysaves.com.
Riggs McGuire checking into the lineup to play the outfield. Why is he needed in the outfield? That is because DeMarco Vasquez has stepped up onto the hill in relief of Drake Bannerman. Bannerman will throw 105 pitches. He will face 29 in 5 2/3 innings of work. Give up a total of 5 base hits. Thus far, 3 runs. There are 2 on that would be his responsibility. And the number of strikeouts in the contest, 4. Walks, 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. So 5 2/3, 29 faced, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 5 hits, 3 runs thus far. And the mandatory exit after throwing 105 pitches takes Bannerman out and puts Vasquez in. And Vasquez opening with a strike of Derek Mettler. Still got an inning to go. We are in the top part of the 6th. 2 gone, couple of base runners aboard. Hit to 3rd, and Madero will tag out the runner for out number 3. So Vasquez comes in and throws a couple of pitches, gets the out, puts it in to the top of the 6th. Bannerman will officially leave, having given up 3 runs and have a 5-run lead. And Eholmes gives him the win. We go to the bottom of the 6th on JockJive.com.
Sure, Trustology is about sharing our financial expertise and helping our clients succeed. But it's also about helping local families enjoy a more festive holiday season, making sure parents have the supplies they need, and giving local charities everything they can grab in 90 seconds. It's employees who have a passion for serving their neighbors and the communities they live in. When you see Washington Trust's Crew in Blue doing their thing, that's Trustology in action. See more at Trustology.
Bottom of the 6th, bottom of the order, Drake Bannerman. He was slated to bat as leadoff, but obviously with him being lifted from the mound, well, I say obviously, there have been instances where pitchers lifted from the mound have stayed in the lineup as well, but in this particular case, will not. It will be Riggs McGuire who will lead things off in the 6th. Jesse Carmona, DeMarco Vasquez due up in the inning too. Bottom of the 6th means the end to recognizing those new Twitter followers, by the way, so be sure to follow us on Twitter in the bottom of the 6th so we can acknowledge you by Reading out your Twitter handle, 934 followers now. Well, we had a couple of goals, actually 3 coming into the summer. One goal hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We do a lot of stuff on YouTube. Got that. Another goal was to get 10,000 likes on Facebook. That happened this morning. And the other goal was to hit 1,000 Twitter followers, and we're at 934. So I'm thinking that's within reach too. McGuire with a base hit into right field, and then the shot gets beyond Hunter Reeves, and that allows McGuire another back. Well, it will depend upon how tight they score such. I don't see an error posted. There was an instance earlier where you could have given an error and they did not. No, well, they do here. I see now the 3rd error of the contest is posted for prime time. So it is a base hit and an error that gets McGuire to second. And the base runner in scoring position for Jesse Carmona. Well, the prime time desire is don't let any more runs score. It's a 5-run advantage, and all they've got left is the 7th to try to chip away at the lead. Outside of the strike zone to Carmona as the count evens up at 1. Carmona 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And came in the 3rd, part of that 4-run 3rd inning. High with the pitch, 2-1. Again, at Jock Jive. That's what you need to put into the search engine. At Jock Jive on Twitter. Do it in the 6th. We recognize you. Foul out of play. At Jock Jive. And if you look at the backstop right below the Fredo World Series 2017.com and in between Northland Cable and iFiber, that's what you need to put. At Jock Jive. Count runs full, 3-2 on Carmona. DeMarco Vasquez has moved to the on-deck circle. Mettler, who has thrown 40 tosses in relief of Alex Brady, rolled to Hamilton. He'll get it to first to get Carmona on the 4-3 while McGuire goes to 3rd. 1 away as we get back to the top of the order. Well, this was a game that Tucson, Arizona needed badly. They had lost a couple of games and needed a win here, and they're not there yet, but they're on their way. Mettler coming out, and obviously part of the logic with pulling Mettler is so that you don't have to give him a day off. If you need him again tomorrow, you can use him. We'll find out who the new pitcher is when we return to Ephrata.
Hi, I'm a kid, and I am here to tell you why fruit is good for you. It is healthy for your muscles, your brain, your eyes, your heart, and your body. I've been sitting behind this big tray of fruit, and it looks so good, and it smells so good, and I haven't gotten one piece.
When your sport team has a great game or season, come celebrate your team's hard work at Lake Bowl in Moses Lake. Our Redemption Center game room is loaded with fun. Lake Bowl wants to help you recognize your team's accomplishments with fun and affordable packages. Bring your team in to eat, play, and have some fun. Team celebrations are a blast at Lake Bowl. Give us a call or visit our website for more information. Lake Bowl, Moses Lake's family entertainment center.
Andrew Shear is the new pitcher for prime time, coming in from center field, which obviously means we've got a new gentleman in center field, and when the back is turned and we can pick up the numbers, did not get an indication for the PA guy who is now roaming center field, but when we get that info, we will pass it along. These are a couple of squads that have the numbers on the front and back, but problem is the numbers on the front are in small font. So until the new center fielder gets relatively close, old timers can't pick up the numbers to let you know who is playing that particular position. But I can tell you this, he's about to make a catch. Fly ball caught, tagging from third. McGuire comes in and scores. And it's now a 9-3 advantage. And that is a gentleman who was playing third who is now gone out to center field, Taryn Yarnell. And Metler has gone back to third, so those are the defensive changes. Shear comes in to pitch. Metler moves from the mound back to third where he started the contest. And then Yarnell, who came in and played third when Metler went to the bump, will go to center field and relieve Shear in center field. So Vasquez with the sacrifice fly makes it a 9-3 contest, a 6-run lead. As McGuire comes in and scores. And Nano Vasquez being replaced as well. It is Mark Islas who will bat. Islas got a start yesterday at third. Did not start in the opening game, nor did he start today for Tucson. Got a start in between though, and getting an at-bat here. More followers on Twitter. Do it in the 6th. We recognize you. Got it out to get it in. At Summerbow. At SOMMERBOE. At Summerbow. Thank you very much for being a new follower. Walk given to Islas. And the base runner aboard here in the bottom of the 6th. Longest game previously, 2 hours, 17 minutes. This has gone 2 hours, 10 minutes. And unless we have a 1, 2, 3 very quick top part of the 7th, you got your longest game of the World Series in progress. Wrapped towards third. It will ricochet off the mitt of Metler. Retrieved by Parker. Won't get the out over at first.
Third baseman, Adrian Madero.
So aboard with a base hit is Graff. Islas will go to second. Keegan Graff, his third base hit of the ball game. And a couple of base runners on for Adrian Madero. Danny Perez moves to the on-deck circle. Out of the strike zone to Madero. Madero 2 for 3, stole a base, scored a run. His base hits, both singles. We've had a total of 14 base hits today and 13 of them singles. Hit to Shear. He goes to first, gets the out there. 1 run will come in, 2 runners will be left on. We go to the 7th. Primetime knows the chore. Got a 6-run hole to try to dig themselves out of.
Today's Best Western is more rewarding than ever. Rewards members get our best rates every stay. And with rewards points that never expire, you get more free nights at over 4,200 hotels worldwide, gift cards, and instant rewards. Now get a $10 gift card with every night you stay. Let's go get rewarded. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Before the final touches were made, before the swing was built, before the trees were there, before the holes were dug, before any of that, a call was made so all underground lines could be marked. So the holes could be dug, the trees could be planted, the swing could be built, and the final touches made to a picture-perfect project. Dream, plan, prepare. Call 811 before you dig.
Top of the 7th, top of the order. Isaiah Parker will start things off. Prime time looking for a miraculous rally. Improbable, but not impossible. As we head to the 7th, by the way, thank you very much to all those who began following us in the 6th inning here on jockjive.com. Now a total of 935 followers. Well, actually 36. I see we've added one more at Frontier Lube. At Frontier Lube. Thank you very much for now following us. 936 following us on Twitter, and we appreciate that very much. 10,055 Facebook likes into left field. That is a base hit to lead things off in the 7th. Isaiah Parker headed for second. He will be there standing. It's a double that begins the primetime 7th. And something for Parker and company to cheer about. If you're going to overcome a 6-run deficit, got to have more of those. Jasper Rank, who lined out to short, lined out to the pitcher, and ground out to the pitcher. 0 for 3 in the game. Steps in. Hayden Williamson moves to the on-deck circle. 1 run in the 2nd, couple of runs in the 4th. Prime time looking to get rid of the 5th and 6th inning goose eggs, the Blues, and plate runs in the 7th. Meanwhile, for Tucson, Arizona, 4th and 5th were the only 2 innings they did not score. Fouled out of play in the count, even at 1 apiece. By the way, if you are a sports junkie, and if you like baseball, you like softball, volleyball, soccer, football, all kinds of sports, it's all on jockjive.com. Whether live or archive, check it out. Heck, you can do it a year late. Did you play in last year's World Series and want to check out one of the games? Well, it's available. Found out a play, the chase given by Cremona. And I mentioned we've got football coming up. We wrap up our coverage of baseball on Saturday. That'll do it after about 6 months of baseball with some softball splashed in. Let's see, what else have we done since baseball started? Well, we've done a little basketball since baseball got underway as well. So after a lengthy part of the season, which really the biggest part of our year is baseball. And it wraps up on Saturday. We get to football on the 24th in Milledgeville, Georgia. Next night in West Virginia. Working on, as we do an ACCC Game of the Week, the Alabama Community College Conference Game of the Week. Working on maybe kicking it off with some volleyball on the 23rd. Runner takes off on the hit and run. It is popped up. Parker's going to have to get back quickly. Fortunately, it stayed up for a long time. And Parker's able to get back to second as the fly out by Rank is out number 1. Catch made at third by Madero. One away for Hayden Williamson. Dylan Hamilton moves to the on-deck circle. But again, regardless of the sport, we've probably done it. Probably covered it. And by the way, if you are interested in similar coverage for your event, your school, and your conference, you might want to email us info, info at jockjive.com. Little productions, an announcer and a camera, or the larger productions. We are capable, and you can email us. Count even, 1 each. Hayden Williamson came in to bat for Parker Reeves, got injured back in the 4th. And Williamson came in and walked in the 5th, pops this one up in the 7th, and Ortiz will reach back, make the catch, 2 gone. 2 away for Dylan Hamilton. Hamilton has reached on an error twice. He is also singled. A couple of runs scored. Down to the last out here in the 7th, which allows me an opportunity to quickly go through some formalities. Please remember to, if you haven't already done so, like us on Facebook. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, do that as well. Archive of the game, it's available after the fact. If you want to purchase DVDs, then here in the park, find somebody that can get over to the vendor tent. DVDs, $10 each. Thanks so much to our crew. iFiber providing the camera ops. Out of the strike zone to Hamilton, 2-0. And of course, coming up, your 5 o'clock matchup, our second opportunity to see Blue Lick, Kentucky taking on Moses Lake. Moses Lake coming in with a 1-1 record in pool play. Blue Lick is unbeaten. And as a matter of fact, of the 10 games played, I guess Blue Lick had the most impressive victory, that 12-4 win over Tucson, Arizona in the opening game. And an interesting matchup in the nightcap. Really interested to see what happens between Washington and Cape Cod in the 8 o'clock game. Into the strike zone, 3-1. It will go to the backstop, and that will get base runners at first and third. Parker now at third. Hamilton, the base runner, at first for Jacob Hammond. Hammond is struck out. He is singled. He is popped out. 1 for 3. Andre Shear to the on-deck circle. DeMarco Vasquez in relief of Drake Bannerman. Bannerman trying to pick up the victory, and as I mentioned earlier, a much-needed win for Tucson, Arizona. They were 0-2 coming into the contest. 0-3 basically has you out of pool play. It's going to be tough to get in. Not impossible, I guess, but very tough with a 1-3 mark. Or an 0-4 record certainly doesn't get you in. So Tucson needed a victory to keep their hopes alive to get into bracket play, and it appears with 2 gone and a couple of base runners aboard that they will get it here against this primetime squad. Foul off of Hammond, and it is 0-2. And now where primetime is concerned, they've got concerns. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. They have got to get a victory against Moses Lake. Meanwhile, for this Tucson, Arizona squad, well, it's a chance to get a break. They will get Tuesday off at 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Tucson, Arizona will be back to play baseball here in Johnson O'Brien Stadium. Foul out of play. It stays 1 ball and a couple of strikes. Parker at third. Seems like he got on about a half hour ago. Over at third, Dylan Hamilton, the base runner at first. Compliments of the walk. It was the double that got Parker on. Jacob Hammond into right field. Base hit. Carmona will scoop it up. Coming in from third, Parker. And primetime saying don't write us off just yet as Hammond delivers with an RBI single. So it kept a couple of base runners on for Andre Shear. And it's now a 9-4 contest. And it is looking more as that 5 o'clock game may not start precisely at 5. As right now the field crews would have about 37 minutes if we wrapped up here. And it typically takes them about 45 or better. Popped up, Madera at third, went back, comes forward, makes the catch. And this ball game is over. It is a 9-4 victory that belongs to Tucson, Arizona. They will improve to 1-2 in pool play with a loss Prime time is now 0-2. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for texting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for following. Thanks to our great crew. iFiber providing the camera ops. James Crenshaw has been your producer. I am Robert Williamson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at 5 o'clock or just a bit beyond for Blue Lick and Moses Lake.
Pretty good at the moment, so they'll get it up, ready to go as quickly as they can. So again, right around 5 o'clock, we'll start the next game of the day. That'll be Moses Lake River Dogs and Blue Lick, Kentucky. Once again, Moses Lake Blue Lick at 5 o'clock, and then our prime time spot tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. with Danny with contest coming out. So Columbia Basin River Dogs, 2-time national, 3-time national champion, against 7-time defending New England regional champion, Cape Cod. At this time, we please welcome to the field our tournament director, National Task Force member, and Commissioner of Major League Baseball Alabama, Steve Reynolds, will present the Ron Carlson Player of the Game Award, recognition of Babe Ruth League's late President and CEO, who has been the nation due for the past. The primary objective that every child has the opportunity to play the game. For this contest, Vancouver, your Ron Carlson Player of the Game, Isaiah Parker. And Tucson, your Ron Carlson Player of the Game, Keegan Graff. Congratulations, close love. Close game, close love. Okay, Tucson, your next contest is not tomorrow. Instead, tomorrow, guys, you will go on now at 11 o'clock night on Wednesday. Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock in Midtown County, Texas. Vancouver, you are back out here tomorrow night on the Tuesday practice spot, taking on the Moses Lake River Dogs. Again, now 35 minutes or close we get to start game number 3 of the day. Moses Lake, Blue Lick, coming out as close as we can at 5 o'clock. You're going to stay with us for a while, or if you're coming into the stadium right now. Hopefully you stay around with us for a while. We'll stand for the next game, or come on, or you come into the ballpark now for the start of our 5 o'clock contest. Secondly, we got the covers for that, though. Let's do something right by the name. Please do that. You'll go left, and guess what? The first thing you're going to see is time is in. The fitness stand, the athlete, the fitness, clearly, they're operating that for us there. Please, for that. Going back to you can get hot dogs, nachos,